This is Commander Aleksandr Volkov, retired, formerly of Terran Special Operations. I have been captured 17 times during my career. Behind enemy lines, deep cover operations, hostile territory extractions. I escaped 17 times. The collectors thought they could hold me in a zoo, display me like an animal, charge admission to see the primitive human. They learned why that was a mistake. This is Case File 247. This is the story of how I dismantled a civilization because they put me in a cage. The collectors were not a military species. They did not conquer through force. They conquered through acquisition. For 3,000 years, they had traveled the galaxy, capturing specimens from every species they encountered. Their zoo was legendary. 10,000 species from across known space, displayed in carefully recreated habitats. The greatest collection of living beings ever assembled. It was also the galaxy's most secure prison. No specimen had ever escaped. Not in 3,000 years of operation. The collectors had perfected containment, energy barriers, neural dampeners, automated defense systems, redundant security protocols. They believed escape was impossible. They had never held a human. I was captured during a reconnaissance mission in uncharted space. My ship suffered a drive malfunction. The collectors found me drifting, unconscious from oxygen deprivation. When I woke up, I was in a cage. The enclosure was designed to resemble Earth. Trees, grass, a small stream, even artificial sunlight that mimicked Sol's spectrum. They had done their research. They thought it would make me comfortable, docile, content. They did not understand what I was. 30 years of special operations, 12 campaigns, 17 captures and 17 escapes. I had broken out of military prisons, underground bunkers, orbital stations, and one time a moving train. A zoo was not going to hold me. But I did not rush. Rushing gets you killed. The collectors had held specimens for centuries. Their security was designed by experts who had spent 3,000 years perfecting containment. I needed to learn their systems before I could defeat them. So I watched. For the first week, I played the role they expected. Confused, frightened, primitive. I paced my enclosure. I tested the barriers with my hands, appearing desperate. I gave them the animal they wanted to see. They relaxed around me. Guards stopped paying close attention. Researchers came closer to observe. Visitors pressed against the transparent walls, pointing and laughing at the human. I memorized every face, every uniform, every weapon, every patrol pattern. The collectors spoke a language I had never heard. By week 2, I had learned enough to understand basic commands. By week 3, I could follow conversations. By week 4, I was fluent. They did not know I was listening. They spoke freely around the primitive specimen. I learned everything. The facility's layout, the location of control centers, the schedules of guard rotations, the weaknesses in their security systems, the access codes spoken carelessly by overconfident staff. I learned that my enclosure's barrier could be disrupted by overloading the power coupling in the artificial stream. I learned that the guard station 30 meters away was staffed by only 2 collectors during the night shift. I learned that the central control hub could open all enclosures simultaneously. I learned that 10,000 species were imprisoned here. 10,000 civilizations represented. 10,000 potential allies. By day 47, I knew everything I needed to know. On day 48, I stopped being a specimen. The escape began at 0300 local time. Minimal staffing, reduced patrols. The optimal window I had identified during 6 weeks of observation. I had spent 3 days modifying the stream's power coupling using rocks and pieces of vegetation. The collectors had not noticed. Why would they? I was just a primitive human, splashing in water. The overload was precise. The barrier flickered for exactly 3 seconds. I was through in 2. The first guard died before he knew I was free. I had crafted a weapon from a branch and a sharp stone, primitive by galactic standards, but effective when applied to soft tissue with sufficient force. The second guard managed to reach for his communicator. He was too slow. Humans are very fast when we need to be. I took their weapons. Collector sidearms, designed for stunning rather than killing. I adjusted the settings. They would kill now. The next 4 hours were methodical. I did not rush. Rushing gets you killed. I moved through the facility section by section, eliminating threats, acquiring resources, working toward my objective. The control hub? The collectors had designed their security to prevent escape from inside the enclosures. They had not designed it to stop someone moving through the staff areas with stolen weapons and security codes. By 0500, I had killed 43 guards. I had acquired a full security uniform, a master access card, and detailed schematics of the entire facility downloaded to a stolen tablet. By 0600, I reached the control hub. 3 technicians were on duty. They died quickly. I am not proud of the killing, but I am not ashamed either. They were jailers. They had imprisoned 10,000 species for profit and entertainment. They had imprisoned me. I accessed the master control systems. The interface was intuitive, designed for ease of use by staff with varying technical skills. Within minutes, I understood how to operate it. I could have simply escaped, opened my enclosure remotely, found a ship, left this world. That would have been the smart play, the safe play. But I am not smart or safe. I am human, and I was angry. I opened every enclosure in the facility, all 10,000 of them, simultaneously. The alarms began immediately. Across the massive complex, barriers dropped, doors opened, locks disengaged. 10,000 species, some of whom had been imprisoned for centuries, suddenly found themselves free. I activated the facility-wide communication system. Attention all specimens. This is not a drill. All enclosures are now open. All barriers are down. I am a human, and I have disabled this facility's security systems. I paused, letting that sink in across 10,000 cells. You have been prisoners, some of you for years, some for decades, some for centuries. The collectors took you from your homes, from your families, from your lives. They put you in cages and charged admission to see you suffer. I felt the anger rising in my voice. No more. Today, you are free. Today, the cages are open. Today, we show the collectors what happens when you imprison 10,000 species and expect them to stay quiet. I switched to a tactical frequency I had identified during my reconnaissance. The main armory is in Section 12. The shuttle bay is in Section 23. The collector population of this world is approximately 4 million. They have minimal military capability. I smiled, though no one could see it. There are more of us than there are of them. Let's remind them of that. The uprising began within minutes. 10,000 species, many of them apex predators from their home worlds, many of them intelligent beings who had spent years planning revenge, many of them physically powerful, psychologically damaged, and absolutely furious. The collectors had built the ultimate prison. They had also built the ultimate army. They just hadn't realized it. I spent the next 6 hours coordinating the chaos. Not all species could work together. Some were natural enemies, some could not communicate, some simply wanted to flee rather than fight. But enough of them wanted revenge. More than enough. The collectors had no military tradition. They were collectors, not warriors. Their security forces were designed to contain individual specimens, not fight a coordinated uprising of thousands. They were overwhelmed within hours. By noon, the zoo complex was ours. By evening, the capital city had fallen. By the next morning, the collector government had surrendered unconditionally. 4 million collectors, conquered by their former prisoners in less than 30 hours. I stood on the balcony of their parliament building as the sun rose on a new day. Behind me, representatives of dozens of freed species were already beginning to organize. Ships were being prepared to return prisoners to their home worlds. Communications were being sent across the galaxy, informing civilizations that their lost members had been found. A Vorn warrior approached me. Massive, powerful. He had been in the zoo for 40 years, captured during a hunting expedition in his youth. "Human," he said, "you freed us. You organized us. You gave us our revenge. Why?" I considered the question. "Because they put me in a cage. Because I do not like cages. Because when someone imprisons me, I take everything from them." The Vorn studied me for a long moment. "You are a dangerous species." "Yes, we are." He made a sound that I later learned was Vorn laughter. "Good. The galaxy needs dangerous species. The collectors learned this. Others will learn it too." He extended his hand in a gesture he must have learned from observing humans in the zoo. "Thank you, human. My people owe you a debt." I shook his hand. "Tell your people that humanity pays its debts and collects them." The collector civilization did not survive the uprising. Not in any meaningful sense. Their population was relocated to a single continent, stripped of technology, forbidden from space travel. The freed species took everything else. Their zoo became a memorial. 10,000 empty enclosures, preserved exactly as they had been. A reminder of what the collectors had done, and what had happened when they finally caged the wrong species. I returned to Federation space 3 months later. My superiors were not pleased that I had been captured. They were significantly more pleased when they learned what I had done with that capture. "You dismantled an entire civilization," Admiral Chen said during my debriefing. "Freed 10,000 species. Ended 3,000 years of imprisonment. Because they put you in a zoo." "Yes, sir." "With rocks and sticks and stolen weapons." "At first, sir. I upgraded as I went." She stared at me for a long moment. "Commander, I am not sure whether to court-martial you or give you a medal." "The medal would be nice, sir." She laughed. I received 3 medals, a promotion, and a month of mandatory psychological evaluation. Worth it. The galaxy learned a lesson from the collector incident. Several lessons, actually. First, do not imprison beings from other species. You never know what they are capable of until you give them a reason to show you. Second, do not underestimate any species based on technological development. Primitive tools can be just as lethal as advanced weapons in the right hands. Third, and most importantly, do not cage humans. We do not domesticate. We do not accept captivity. We do not display well in enclosures. We escape. We fight. We destroy our captors and free everyone they have wronged. Because that is what humans do. We are not specimens. We are not curiosities. We are not exhibits. We are the apex predator of a death world. We are the species that conquered fire and split atoms and walked on our moon. We are the civilization that refuses to accept impossible odds. Put us in a cage, and we will break out. Give us an enemy, and we will destroy them. Give us other prisoners, and we will free them all. The collectors spent 3,000 years building the perfect zoo. I spent 47 days watching. Then I spent one day tearing it all down. This is Commander Aleksandr Volkov, signing off. Case file 247 is now closed. They wanted a human for their collection. They got exactly what they asked for. And now they have nothing. Let that be the lesson. You can cage 10,000 species. You cannot cage humanity. We will escape, and we will take everyone with us.